our modern mobile world, extended families often find themselves spread out across the country, if not around the globe. But many Americans are starting to reverse this pattern. We see a growing trend of many generations, 3, 4 generations sometimes, living not just closer together, but under one roof. Multi-generational living, next on Parenting Perspectives.
Our house is a very, very, very fine house with 2 cats in the yard.
Hi everyone, I'm Annie Plachette Murphy, and this is Parenting Perspectives, the show where we tackle key challenges facing parents today. There are an estimated 6 million multi-generational families living together. And while they're still representing a very small percentage of U.S. living arrangements, their popularity is growing rapidly. Here's an example of one of those households, a 3-generation family in California. Let's take a look. They come in all shapes and sizes, built on extensions, guest cottages, or adjacent townhouses. Multi-generational homes are springing up across the country. David Scholl and his wife Mary lived in this Sunnyvale, California house for 41 years. But when their 2 kids grew up and moved out, and Mary passed away, David was forced to make some major changes.
I didn't like the idea of living alone. The details of getting someone buried and moving on, and then that was going to be really silence. I didn't like that idea. I didn't think it was healthy for me.
The thought of moving back into this neighborhood and knowing that my daughter would go to the same middle school and high school, I thought it was a wonderful idea.
The idea? Expand on the old house to accommodate David's daughter, Kathleen, her husband, Jim, and their 7-year-old, Tess, creating 2 separate structures connected by only one door.
We all got along very well, so I figured that would work. But it was the privacy thing, and so I think we ended up with a really good solution.
I think privacy with proximity are 2 keys, and having separate living quarters, which means you have an outside entrance and a separate kitchen, very, very important.
Sharon Niederhaus researched over 100 multi-generational homes across the country and co-authored the book Together Again. She says that the high cost of housing, health care, and reduced pensions for baby boomers are a few of the factors driving the trend.
Financially, along with child care and elder care, it's much cheaper, rent-wise, and just the daily living expenses to live together.
Pop up, kid.
There are emotional benefits, too.
Children
Children receive more love and attention and supervision if grandparents live nearby to help take care of them.
I think just having my dad and Tess interact so much, it makes me so happy to see them so close. And I don't have to worry about a babysitter if somebody doesn't know the routine.
But not all families are well suited to a multi-generational setup. Tension and conflict exist in most families, so before moving in together, first carefully consider compatibility.
My dad and Jim get along extremely well. Jim and my mom got along, but it wouldn't have been the same thing. I think my mom would have driven me crazy.
Multi-generational households can be a great thing if you're honest about the finances and making sure that everyone is square and doesn't feel that they've been compromised in any way.
You want to make sure it's written up legally on paper, the ownership as well as inheritance, especially if there are other siblings involved.
Covering your legal and financial basis is critical. But if you don't have the cash for a major renovation, there are still minor changes you can make to create a separate space for a family member.
One thing you can do is close off the end of a hallway, for example, with a door. You can convert a laundry room into a kitchen. Bedroom then becomes the living room. You can have an outside entrance put on a window with a sliding door.
No matter how you configure the generations, working and living together as a family is the ultimate reward.
I'm off to your dad.
Okay, Dad, see you later.